We're uh, we're here with Lena. There, right? Here with Lena live stream. So I know that the quality is not the same as the normal camera or the normal streams, but I have three topics that I thought I would quickly discuss with Lena. Yeah, because she's adorable and everybody loves her, I think. Okay, so three topics. Let's start. The last video, because I haven't put up a riding video in a while. I think people have been wondering if I even ride horses. Uh, no surprise, based on the amount of groundwork that I do and the amount of construction that's kind of been going on lately around here. And so, yeah, I ride. I have a lot of trail riding videos that I've put up. I do some stuff in the arena here where I talk about certain exercises to do, things that just help the horse with how you're going to ride. Most of my arena work is just to practice what I'm going to go do in the practical world. Practical world to me is riding on the trails because we have so many trails around here. Anyhow, so first thing, saddle fit. I had somebody comment saying that they could see that my saddle was falling off. Um, a quick story. What are you doing? I have gloves in my... Oh, I just bumped you in the head, sorry. I have gloves in my back pocket, so she's snipping them. Quick story. I had bump this up a little bit. I had a girl pop by for some riding, and she'd been taking lessons elsewhere with other trainers or teachers, different horses, different environment kind of thing. And so she asked if she could ride, I think it was Lena, I don't remember, it doesn't matter. And oh yeah, sure, go ahead, and you know, here's a saddle you can use, and so on and so forth. And so she goes out and she starts riding, and I go off to go do something. I come back, and uh, she was a younger girl. She had her dad with her, and they were both in the arena when I came out. And so I went down to go see what's going on, and there was a complaint that the saddle didn't fit right. It was falling off. And I said, okay, yeah, I can see that it's falling off. And so they're very used to the idea that when you put a saddle on, you cinch it up pretty tight, make sure that it stays on, can't roll, and all that kind of stuff. And I said, well, I expect maybe in your time of riding that you've had a lot of experience riding in your stirrups. If we think about saddles from a very scientific perspective, and she's so close, she's right on my elbow. I don't want to bump my elbow at all. What? Hello. What do you want then? I don't know what she wants. Anyhow, actually I do know what she wants. But so if we think about how saddles work, and if the saddle is up here and you've got stirrups way down here, the farther down they are, the more leverage that they have to roll that saddle, to rock the saddle, to change the balance of the saddle because of the distance. That's just physics. You can't get away from that. So I said, I think maybe you're riding in your stirrups rather than riding on your butt, with your body. And so she says, well, I don't know what you mean. And I said, well, that's okay. Here, take your feet out of the stirrups and just ride like that. We're not going to adjust the saddle, the cinch. And I said, I want you to try to balance when you ride. So they were both really cool about, the idea that I had and to try to solve this problem, because it wasn't a saddle problem, to me. That was a squirrel going by, sorry. Where's Zeus? How come he hasn't caught it? Oh well. Anyhow, so the plan was to ride with no stirrups, and so off she goes. And for the first 5 minutes, she was all over the place trying to keep her balance. So I said, well, you know, try your best to feel where the horse's feet are and how the horse is moving. Every turn you make, all the stops, all the goes, whether it's the front end or the back end that's moving, you need to move your body and match more what the horse is doing. Your center of gravity is very different, and their center of gravity is very different. Do you want a hug? Shall I hug you? Oh, she says, no. Come here. So, isn't she just the most adorable? Everybody wants to hug her. You're such an adorable horse. Okay, back to the topic. So, after about 5-10 minutes or so, she rode the rest of her ride for another hour with no stirrups. And not even once did that saddle roll. So somebody comes onto the channel, I don't know how long you've been here, and that's okay, and sees through the GoPro lens that, hey, your saddle's a little off balance. My explanation is that I don't cinch up my saddle really tight. I cinch it up enough that the saddle's not going to move, really. You know, enough friction there that the saddle's going to kind of stay where it is. If I were to happen to fall off or jump off or get off and the horse were to leave, for a good reason. Horse dependent, of course. So, if my saddle goes off, in my opinion, for me, for my horses, for my riding style, my saddle is doing this, that's my problem. That's my balance problem. I'm not keeping center. I've lost track of where the horse is. Another quick story. A while ago, I learned how to fly. Airplanes. Just the little ones. Nothing big or passenger based or something like that. And when you're flying an airplane, you really got to pay attention to stuff. A lot. And if you start to daydream or you start to worry or get concerned or afraid of some sorts, it's going to shift this just a little. I don't know why she's going there. Lena, I'm right here. Okay. And if you fly and you're not paying full attention to things, it's called flying behind the plane. She's paying attention to something. Horses are the best guard animals. Look, she's gone. What is it? All we've got is a big white butt now. See? Let's scratch it. Okay, so when you're flying behind an airplane, oh, yikes! She's coming in. And when you're flying behind the airplane, you're not going to land properly. You're not going to react in time to things to react to, maybe a wind change or something like that. And sorry, I'm distracted. And so I think that the same thing applies to horses. In that if you're not maybe I'll just back up. If you're not staying balanced, if your saddle is rolling, you're riding behind the horse. And I encourage everybody, whoever rides here or anybody I talk to, ride with no stirrups and don't cinch up so tight. And by nature, your balance will have to get better or you'll come off. If you're relying on your saddle to balance, to stay on top of your horse, there's a really, really good chance that in time you'll just come off, um, and you won't be as practiced when you really need it. Ah, I present to you one large white butt. I know I make fun of her an awful lot, so, but she's almost my favorite. Okay, so that's sort of my concept about saddle fit. I mean, saddles should fit. If you've got a saddle that has a tree in it, it should have the proper curves to it. It should have the proper balance. It shouldn't be broken. You know, it should be a nice solid tree, and it shouldn't pinch. It shouldn't bridge. So there's a lot to saddle fit that is very important. I pretty much ride glorified saddle pads. My saddle that I regularly use is treeless. And it's another thing I encourage people to do, either ride with a bareback saddle pad or a treeless saddle when you can. You don't have to do it all the time. And you'll find that your balance will change. How you balance on top of the horse will shift and change and become much stronger. It is harder. It is much harder. And you have to ride a little bit different. You have to ride in a very... Don't touch. Don't touch. No, no. You're a bad horse. You're gonna hit a button or something. Look at how close she is. What a dork. Okay. There's your horse nose for the day. Enjoy it. So, riding like that can be very, very, really beneficial. You know, really, don't touch. You'd knock it over, and then everybody would be upset with you. Did you know that? Yeah. You're not in big trouble yet. You might be. It's really good for your balance, really good for your riding style. You don't have to do it all the time, but give it a shot once in a while. So, that's what I think about that. Scratching time. We take this short break, sponsored by Lena's Scratchy Scratch Scratchies. Right? Ooh, you're shedding. I forgot. Okay, next topic. Riding style. So, along the same lines, people talk about English and Western. And I say ride with what works for you. You know, I've got my own style. I teach a particular style because it makes sense to me. It works. I've seen a lot of... Whoa! Holy smokes! Some branch fell down over there. Or it's a bear. Almost got run over. See? Exactly. When you hang out too close to a horse, it is the most dangerous place ever. She did avoid me. But I'm not quick enough to catch on to that. I'm too busy paying attention to this, or scratches, or rubbing my sweater or something. Can't stress it enough. If you're hanging around horses, make some space. I was lucky. Nina, there's nothing out there. A squirrel breaking a twig or something. She's right over here. Right there. And there's Vinny. Okay, next thing about riding style. And I've seen a few comments go by, but they disappear, so I'll get to them in a second. Riding style, there's English, Western, and then there's modified versions of each of those. I ride in a more Western kind of style. I've seen a bunch of styles out there, and so I'd be a bit of a hybrid. I don't do neck reining. If I can really help it. I mean, I might teach it a little bit, but I don't depend on it. But for a Western style of riding, I'll use my outside leg to push inwards, sort of deal, rather than have the horse round around my leg to go on the inside, sort of thing. So there's different styles out there. I say ride with what feels good to you, uh, what works for you, what works for your horse. Horses can get an education in with people in any type of riding. They can get used to whatever you're going to be doing. They're very smart animals, smarter than we are. So my riding style is simply my goal. My goal for my riding is to ride with the least amount of hands that I can. I want to ride with my body and my legs. And my hands will be used for more advanced things like counter flexing or collecting for other maneuvers, whether I want to do side passes or I want to just turn one end or the other, the front or the back. Um, all those things. I should be able to get almost everything done that I need to get done for normal everyday riding with my body and my leg. Well, I don't know where I got to. The app died, crashed. Okay, so I'll go back just a couple sentences. The idea that I want to get to for riding is where I ride with my body and my legs and less with my hands. Um, I always try to tell people, when you're riding, if you lose your reins, what are you going to do? Are you going to be able to control your horse? Are you going to be able to stop your horse? Are you going to be able to do the things that you need to do if one of your reins breaks off, or they both break, or lose them, they fall to the ground? If you have split reins, you can lose them. If you have short reins and the horse puts his head forward, they can yank right out of your hands, and then they go flying up to their ears or right over, then they're on the ground. So there's lots of situations that can happen. Lena, you gonna make it back up or what? Come on. She's stuck. She says, I'm not making it up there, man. Okay, so that's sort of my riding style. That's the things that I like to do and teach. Um, if you have any specific questions, I'm happy to answer, but I'd say I'm probably a little bit more casual than some more classical or sort of the strict styles and the cultures that are out there for riding, and that's fine, you know. But I'm looking to get along with them as best as I can with as little as I possibly have to do to get the job done, so they don't get worried. Okay, last topic. Actually, before I get on the last topic, let's see I've seen a bunch of comments, man. Let's see if there's any questions in here. All right, let's see how we're doing here. Whew. Tracy, hello, Tracy. If you're still here, even though the app crashed. Horses they are very interesting. They're incredibly interesting. Hello from Sweden. Hello from Canada. To Sweden. I've been to Sweden once. Loved it. A helmet cam. Yes, I actually do have a GoPro, and I can put a mount on it, and it would kind of work. But I find that because I move around a lot, I might try to use the 360 camera on my helmet, but I still think I'm going to move my head around too much. It'll be weird. So I think more than anything, the best thing to do is have somebody else do the filming, the video work. So we'll see if Jen is up for that. Tracy says hi to Lena. Lena, Tracy says hello. I don't know. She needed more time during no stirrup November. Is that a real thing? I like it. No stirrups. Really, really beneficial to ride with no stirrups. That's for sure. Okay, come on. Just stay up. Oh, you're back. Hi, Lena. You made it. Did you want some scratches so you'll stay with us? Or you freaked out earlier? Come here. Where is it? Is it here? Oh, I got it. Nope, I don't have it. I got it. There it is. Okay. You're welcome. Welcome. You guys ever seen the movie Moana? My daughter's, every time we say you're welcome, we always try to mimic what Maui says when he sings that song, You're Welcome, or whatever it's called. Hang on. Okay, moving on. Hi, Nancy. Beautiful butt. What about Lena, though? All right, moving on. Marianne, I'm understanding what you're saying, but I also feel like it's actually stuck on the horse. It's probably my insecurities. Um, the horse I ride is English saddle, but I also want to teach the horse to neck rein because it seems like a better choice. When I want any kind of speed where it's difficult to use my legs, we're doing galloping life on the saddle. Very common. How do you steer a horse with your leg? Will you stop bugging me? Okay. With the high speeds, feel like you kind of lose control a bit. 'Tis true. Oh goodness gracious. What? God, sorry. I'm not teaching her good habits here. Bug me for scratches. Okay, I've had enough. Sorry, I don't want to do it anymore. I'm getting covered in hair. Okay, moving on to these questions. So, a saddle should be, reasonably secure on the horse. It shouldn't just slip around. It's true. Um, I personally, I mean, it's just maybe personal preference. I think there are others out there that are along the same lines that your body should be used for the balance. You don't even need a saddle. I mean, in reality, there's so many people that ride with no saddle. Even a saddle pad just to keep your pants clean. Those horses are so oily and dirty. So, it takes time and practice. And you got to start at a standstill and then a walk, your slow turns, your neck, not your neck reins here, your one rein stops and stuff like that, where you have the butt really kind of swing out. All these things where you can start to get used to what your horse is doing and how it's doing it. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's hard. You got to practice lots. How do you steer a horse when you're going really fast? Well, generally when you're going really fast, you're not going to be doing any kind of hard steering. If you can't keep your balance, go slower. Keep practicing at the slower speeds, and then get better and better and better. Neck reining is beneficial for that for sure, but see, I don't ride like that. I don't ride super fast all over the place, so I don't have a specific need to practice for that. It would be hard for a horse to really be able to recognize it completely if you're going that fast. So, if you've got your hands, if you're not hanging onto the horn, or if you're hanging onto the horn, you've only got one hand, you have to neck rein for sure, because you can't just kind of pull this way or that way. So you got to neck rein. So teach them neck reining. Neck reining should be taught very carefully if you're wondering about that, because a lot of horses will lean into the rein, and then you got a counter-bending horse on your turns. So you have to. I'll see if I can do a video on that one day. Neck reining. Moving on. What else we got in here? She's waiting for scratches. Well, she's got some. Okay, moving on up. Galloping, eh? It's fun. Hard work though. We're working with a very forward, off-the-track thoroughbred English saddle. Try to get them very backwards. Like get them to where they can back up too, because I don't know. I don't know what you're doing. I'm probably just making assumptions now. Okay, can you start teaching your horse to ride more with your body and legs than your hands? Every day. Every horse I get on. If they've got hands figured out, I move away from that as fast as I can. And it usually doesn't take long. Smart horses will get it in 20 minutes. And then you just work on that. You just keep on building on that. The sort of duller horses are the ones that have sort of been worked on some other method of some sorts. Take a little longer because you're sort of going, you got to go a little backwards to come forwards. I don't know. It's no, trust me. You get it done. Let's put this here a little. Okay, how can you start teaching your horse to ride more? Okay, so how you do it is reasonably simple. Just like everything else you're sort of teaching or doing, you start with what the horse knows, right? So how about an example? So if I'm riding, we'll do the very basics. So if I'm riding, my reins are, say, here. If I want a horse to go left, I'll put my hand out. If that doesn't work, I'll start to sort of pull and I'll vibrate a little. If this works, then great. The next thing I'll do for my riding style is I will bump with my right leg and I'll take my left leg off a little bit. My leg will come forward a little bit and I'll bump, 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 bump. And if they don't get it, I'll clue them in. Uh-oh. And then when they get it, I stop bumping and I bring my hand back. You start over. Pretty soon, the leg means something. So there you go. Easy peasy. I mean, just takes time. Hi from France. Hello from Canada, France. Good to have you here. Go Canucks. I wish I cared about sports. I just don't. But yay for Canucks. I don't care. Sorry. I should, maybe. I have no time for sports. How does Lena do that when she gets scratches, some weird face stuff going on there? Oh, horses, when you get their right spot, because horses co-groom, it's very habitual for them to, when they co-groom, so one horse will groom one and one will groom the other, and when one of them gets the right spot, the other will scratch harder, and the other then knows, oh, you want me to scratch harder, and then they each scratch harder. Whoever's the lead horse, I think, gets the best scratches in the end. I don't get any scratches, but I don't want any, so that's that. So that's why she makes those weird faces, because she's asking me to do more. I love her scratchy face, says Nancy. Yeah, me too. Lena's butt. Oh, okay. All right. I know that. Lena is definitely not shy about being demanding. No, she's very confident. And she's also very, I mean, if you watch that video on Groundwork, she's very confident around me. She knows that I'm not, going to give her a lot of trouble. And so, in turn, she's very comfortable to be around me. She's very comfortable to come over. Oh, here comes Zeus. And, but at the same time, she's very respectful. Like I said in that video I just did, where I ask her to move off, to move away, to move out of my space, she does. And so that gives me a lot of confidence in her. And I get a lot of questions of, I'm really scared to be around horses because one of them stepped on me and broke my foot. That sucks. That really hurts. I mean, it hurts just to be stepped on, let alone your foot broken. But it comes down to a lot of this. But as you guys just saw, and if you're just coming into this live stream, you got to back up about 10 minutes. But something crashed over there or something, and Lena almost went through me. So that said, though, despite all the confidence I have, where I can, I can be all over her. I can do the things that I need to do. If I need to doctor her, I can. If I need to fix something weird in a weird place, she'll let me. There's confidence there. But at the same time, it can be very, very unsafe to be around horses in a close way. So be aware. Pay attention. Okay, so no, Lena's not shy at all. But can you go from a bit of a side pull without retraining? This is a bit off topic. Can you go from a bit to side pull? Oh, yeah. It's no problem. Bit-based head stalls and side pull head stalls are the same thing without the piece of metal. It should be instant. And in fact, in most cases for me, for the horses that I ride, the style that I do, I've had way better response. Way better. Happier horses. Next. Ooh, I'm almost out of questions. Cool, we can get on the last topic. I have a question on rope halter versus nylon leather. Something the rope halter is a gimmick. I've only been exposed to nylon or leather. I never ever use nylon or leather. They break. In fact, I've had them break. They also have bits of metal on them all over the place. Clanky, clank, clank. Go ahead, just tap your own cheekbone or your chin or something like that. Hurts. It's uncomfortable. Oh, hello. Rope halters are definitely not a gimmick, but you do have to be very aware they will never break. Don't leave a rope halter on without being around them. Supervision, I guess you could say. Hello. You have just, she has just this tiny little bit of hay sticking out of her mouth. I don't know if you guys can see. Probably can't see it because the quality of the camera is probably pretty low. Just like a little farmer. Are you a farmer? What was I saying? Rope halters. So rope halters, they don't break. They're very strong. They're definitely not a gimmick. They must fit properly. You can adjust all the knots to fit properly. Unlike nylon halters or leather halters, they don't adjust, except for one of the straps. The other thing about rope halters that are very good is that if you were to have to pull on the horse, you're not just pulling on their pole. Do you have a little stress up there that I need to work out? Oh, yeah. Oh. You're not just pulling on their pole. Nylon and leather halters, almost always, I've seen very rare cases where this doesn't happen. They pull on the pole. You want a 3-point pull if you've got a pull. You want the pole and behind the... Come here. Come here, please. Thank you. 3-point pull. A little bit up here. And here. Right in here is where the rope halter should come around properly. So there are also a lot of rope halters that aren't fitting properly out there. I encourage you, if you're using a rope halter or want to, check out what a proper fit looks like, because it's very important. I don't always get it perfectly correct, but I try. Oh, big yawns. I think I actually relieved something at the back there. You feel better? So yeah, rope halters are very, very good. Not a gimmick at all. I highly encourage people to use rope halters as often as you can. They're usually superior in almost, I think, just about in every way, other than for some people they're hard to tie. They're a little bit of a pain. You can't see them, but I don't know if I can get them. I can't get them. Hang on. Sorry, it's going to get fuzzy. Right there. Zeus, what are you doing? It's just hanging out. Nina says she's hungry. Okay, let's put that down. I'm on a hill. Sorry. Okay. So yeah, rope halter is superior in almost every way. Other than, you know, maybe that nylon and leather ones are a little easier to sort of just clip on. That's true. But when you get used to it, you really just don't go back. There's too many benefits. So nope, not a gimmick. I highly recommend. I don't use anything but rope halters. Let's see. Boy, when I start talking, there's piles of questions that come through. Yeah, so anyway, so the last thing, I mean, honestly, nylon and leather both break. That's my biggest concern. That's not a safe thing. When a horse gets off of a lead, gets off of a tie, I have genuinely seen at least probably about 10 different accidents that happen when a horse breaks off, because they're breaking off for a reason. They're breaking off because they're scared, they're worried, they don't know what to do with themselves, and poof, they're gone. And usually they freak out. They either wreck something or somebody or themselves. Lots of vet calls. The most serious one I saw was a horse was so scared over something that was just, none of the other horses were freaking out. This horse just, it broke off of its halter, ran across through a bunch of people, and tried to jump a fence that was at least 5 feet high. Didn't make it. Landed over, halfway over, 3/4 over, and its back left or right didn't make it, and it sliced the inside of sort of the leg and the stifle, and I think it was 15 to 18 stitches or something silly. So you don't want stuff that breaks. I know some people encouraged, you know, you should have stuff that breaks so the horse, I've seen more horses get hurt from stuff that does break and they get loose and they're gone, and then you got to worry about people. Then I have horses get hurt from just struggling because they're tied up. Teach your horses to tie too if you can, you know, it's very helpful for them. Okay, next up. Looks like my old horse Lenny. Oh. I actually was just around a horse just yesterday that looks just like her for some trimmings. Beautiful horse. I love that. I love the colorings. Hello, Kay. How can you keep your horse from invading a personal bubble when lunging? I'm working with a newly adopted horse that seems to not respect humans. Tara. Good question, Tara. Horses invade your space for a couple of reasons. One, because it feels good. They're herd animals. They want to be closer. So you have to sort of look at that and forgive them a little, but at the same time be firm. And I recently watched this video, and I can't remember his last name. His first name is Tristan, and he had a great idea. And I'm going to repeat it because I think it's a good idea. When you're just standing around and you're not lunging, so I'm going to you're going to have to work your every problem comes from a smaller problem. So I would say when you're just standing around and you're on just a lead rope, does that horse come into you? If it does, ask it out. Now Tristan's idea was is to put a bunch of energy into the spot you don't want the horse to be in instead of on the horse. Now I don't know if the horse can separate the two, but I like the idea. I like the thought of it. If they do catch onto it, terrific. And ask them back. If you can get good, safe distance when you're standing, you move to a walking around, leading kind of thing. You get that good walking around, and it is very consistent at a different speed, whether you're walking, whether you get a little jog going, or you actually start running, and they stay 6 feet away, 7 feet away, 5 feet, whatever your distance, whatever your bubble is. If they do that, you can then move up to driving. Driving is lunging. So you drive them around you and see if they keep that space. I bet they will. Work your way up. Ask them to stay in space and keep it that way. He isn't afraid of people and is more disrespectful. When I start to lunge, he moves off, running me over, very close to me. How can I get him further out without using physical force? Same question. So if you're trying to do lunging without having the stuff before that, you're probably going to have a lot of trouble. You're probably going to have to be louder than you want to be. If you're already reminded, keep space at a standstill and reminded to keep space, walking, leading around, jogging, leading around, running, leading around, then you can work driving. And I bet it would probably go okay. I bet by then you'd have it figured out. He'd have it figured out. But some horses are in the habit, when they start their lunge, they start their circle, they walk straight into you. Check out my groundwork videos on that. I talked about that just recently using Lena. So hopefully it makes sense. I do want to cover it again. And Ross Jacobs did one that is along the same lines that in that video. It's only a couple videos back. It's called The Very First Steps of Groundwork. So check that out. Question answered, I hope. Base Brat 64, welcome over in Vancouver. Thanks for the answer. You're very welcome. You have made the I know. Look at all these subscribers. Over 2,000 subscribers. Thanks everybody for showing up. Northern Ireland. I've been to Ireland. I loved it. I like the castles, the architecture, the rolling hills. I think my funniest experience in Ireland was that I think it's a Catholic church. No, not church. School. All girls, I think. Beautiful. It's always on postcards and stuff. And we were walking from the school to some little church that's off down some pathway, and off in the forest were a bunch of girls smoking. It's the same everywhere, right? Sleepyhead. Yeah, Zeus just kind of hangs out with me. He just goes wherever I am. Good on the side pull or anything as a rider I need to consider when going to side pull? Nope. No, he still gets blisters. What does that mean? Why does your horse get blisters? I don't understand. Since I've been following you, it's all I use, the rope halter. Right on. Good job, Nancy. It's honestly, there's so many more benefits than nylon or leather. Chronic thing that happens with pressure on the bit. Blisters from a bit? That sucks. You're pulling too hard. How old is Zeus? Zeus is old. 11, 12 or so? Something like that. Feel very bad about it. That's why we're going for a side pull. It's hard, you know. I'm going to cover that in a second. It looks way warmer in Canada than South. Yeah, you guys have a polar vortex going on. We have, I don't know, I think it's about 5 degrees or so Celsius. It's not bad at all. I've only got my sweater on, which is nice. Amazing advice. You're very welcome, Tara. Let me know. Also change your, oh good. Well, excellent. Yes, I mean, I'm glad I can make a little, you know, just a little change here and there for people to try out something different. If it works for you, great. If you're kind of thinking, yeah, I don't know, I like my nylon leather, you know, go for it. I'm not saying don't. I'm saying my work, the experience that I have, the things that I do, and my experiences have told me and showed me rope halters, if fit properly, are way more effective, safer, more effective. They last forever. You know, the nylon and leather ones will rot and fail, and their weak points are actually all the metal spots, because you have to stitch those spots. A rope halter is one piece of rope with knots that you can adjust to any horse if you know what you're doing. So good for you. Is this your primary job, or do you work somewhere else? Nope, this is it. This is my job. Mini history about me. Let's go back a little ways. I actually went to Japan for a while, and I taught English, and I was there for about 10 years. After teaching English, I mean, I got bored after a bit, so I already knew a lot about computers, so I went and got a job at Citibank. I worked there for 4 years as a tech support person. I'm fluent in Japanese, so computers in Japanese made a good mix. Made good money. When I was done all that kind of thing, or in the middle of that, I actually started my own company doing tech stuff, building apps and websites and computer design stuff, and which is why I do video work, because I did video work when I was there. I did a couple of online commercials for Disney, a bunch of wedding stuff for some people and friends, and a couple other things, and then started teaching more and more online. So just sort of evolved, and when I came back to Canada, I continued that, built that company up till I kind of got sort of fed up with keeping up with all new languages and all new devices and stuff, and got into horses and never looked back. So now I combine my technology information, or knowledge, with my horse stuff. So it's kind of cool. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to that other question really fast. Let's see, the bits. Oh yeah, bits and sidepulls. Is there something I can help you with? I'm just in the middle of my second to last question, I think. Hello. Scratches? Where is it? There? There. No? There. No? There. Okay, I got it. Right there. She's drooling. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. Bits and side pulls, it's tough. If oh, if how do I say the easiest way to sort of deal with this? I think that if you're having enough trouble with a bit that the horse, and you're tugging and you're getting worried, and the horse is getting comfortable. Last story. I actually had a lady that I was talking to about riding in a halter or a side pull or a hackamore, a proper one, not those mechanical things. And she said, well, most people go the other way. They don't start with the halter. They don't start with the hackamore. They start with the bit and go up and then come back to something soft. And my theory is if you can't get the job done in something soft, you don't really need to try to get it done with something hard. It means you've missed something somewhere. There's a gap somewhere that didn't make its way to the further training. And so if you're thinking of using a side pull, absolutely start small. Start with goes and stops, basic turns, you're walking. Get it to where it's light. You just pick up that rein and something happens. You think about picking it up and something happens. Work with your body and legs. The less you do with your hands, way better, in my opinion. Sounds like you're on your way. You're trying to figure it out. So it's awesome. Okay, any more questions before I get the blanketing thing? Let's see. Freezing in the Maritimes. Yeah, sucks to be you guys. Sorry, it's warm here. Was I involved with horses as a kid? I hated horses when I was a kid. Hated them. I had this terrible experience at camp that my mom had sent me to, where they do a bunch of stuff like archery or outside camping stuff. And one of the things was to ride a horse. And this horse just carried me off. Off I went. I couldn't do anything about it. It was way too big. Couldn't control it. Pulling did nothing. Kicking it did nothing. It just went and sat underneath a low branch tree. It drove me. I was really worried too. Anyhow, so no. I was wondering how you could afford what you do. You have my dream job. Nobody gets into horses for money. Very few. How can you afford it? Good question. It's a lot of work. A lot of effort, time, constant studying, constant keeping up on things, constant time with the horses, until it just becomes sort of what you do. Like brushing your teeth, you just do it, you know. And I've had a lot of time, I mean, over the years to make enough money to save up to sort of build this. And, you know, the business plan is to slowly progress upwards, see how it goes. Work. That's one happy mouth. Yeah, she's funny. Maybe the same bliss that never really gets her disciple, gives them out the proper rest. Well, yeah, it'll give them out the proper rest using a side pull, but keep in mind, using a side pull, you're going to be on the nose too. Keep working with the mind. Keep that horse thinking about being soft to where you don't have to use your hands. Lena is a ham. I agree with you. Interesting background. Thanks. I've been pretty busy. Barefoot trimming certification through Pacific Hoof Care Practitioners. Yeah, those guys do a lot of stuff. I think they're based out of Seattle or something. American, not Canadian. There's only, I think, one person here in Canada that has certification from there. It's a great thing to do. You know, just absorb as much as you can from as many places as you can. Keep what's useful, keep what's good, keep learning, keep trying. You know, how do you feel about snaffle bits? Snaffle bits are pretty good if you, I mean, it's just a typical little deal in the middle stuff kind of thing. And, you know, as long as it's a D-ring, you know, and not a leverage, no curb chain, please. Go ahead. Do this. Everybody who uses a curb chain, I say, hey, you should try this a little. It hurts. That's no way to train a horse. Sorry, I know I'm going to be probably alienating a few people out there, but it's not kind. It hurts. How did you evolve into the horse career? I took a horse riding lesson. I have an idea that I always want to be able to do things that I can't do. And since I was a kid, I don't know, you get into horse country and you think, hey, that's kind of cool. Horses are neat. And I took this one lesson, lovely teacher, great person, and I just never looked back. Loved it. It was wonderful. It's amazing. It's a powerful feeling. It's just come up where the pressure is. It will. It will definitely work out for everybody that's out there, kind of going, well, how do I do this? Can it be done? Absolutely. If you've got the mind to do it, go for it. Do it. Make it happen. Um, there's no reason why it can't. Take your time. Be patient. Start with the little things. Work up to the bigger things. You'll get there. Yep. Okay. Last topic was blanketing. I had a question about blanketing. It's a great question. I've discussed it before, so anybody that's kind of interested in that, we don't blanket here, obviously. You guys, every time we're on horsey check, you don't see horses in blankets. We don't. I don't even think we have enough blankets for all the horses we have here. But we have a few, and I'm not against blanketing, but the science says no. Horses don't need blankets. They're very large animals. Unlike, say, birds that regularly freeze in the winter, horses and cows and llamas and stuff like that, I mean, you don't see any cows out there with blankets on, do you? The horses do, because they're pets. They're very large animals. They put off a lot of heat. It is unusual, unless the environment is not set up to succeed for them to stay warm, which usually means having enough food to keep the furnace running, keep them making heat, or they don't have shelter. Even in these open shelters, if I go in there, it'll be warmer just in here than it will be out here. It's a little, you can feel it. And in some cases, you can be 2 or 3 feet away from a horse and the heat radiates off of them. They puff up for a reason. It's called piloerection. Their hair, just like ours, stands up to make an air gap. That air gap insulates the inside from the outside air from the inside, and they can stay quite warm. So it really is dependent on environment. Blanketing is a big topic. It's hard to cover everything. Generally, we don't blanket. Generally, we don't feel like we need to blanket. We also are not in super wintry conditions. This is the Pacific Northwest. It's mostly warm. If it gets down to -10, it's weird. How did it get so cold? That's so strange. So, I'm not against it though. If somebody says they want to blanket their horse, they feel better about it, then so be it. But horses will sweat. They will get very uncomfortable in warmer weather. So it's something to consider. A lot of people don't have the time to take it off, put it on, take it off, put it on, so they just leave it on. You get rain scald, blanket sores. They can actually get colder if it stays wet, gets wet, stays heavy on top of them, and they don't have that insulation barrier. So there's a lot of downsides too to blanketing, unless it's very, very diligent. Some of the more sicker or older horses can use a little bit of extra help, and a nice puffy jacket is very helpful. So, not against it, but for the most part, no, they don't bother blanketing. They're been living like this for a long time. And in fact, Macaroni, who's up that way, he was blanketed rather regularly in the winter with he's right there, in the winter, and he had rain scald, chronic rain scald, when we got him. So we cleaned him up, never blanketed him again, and he's never had rain scald again. Look, hi, you're done eating? Come back for scratches? Player's choice. It's up to you. It's your horse. You get to do what you want. Science says that blanketing isn't required for horses for the most part, most circumstances, most environments. Ruli's not my horse. It's not my choice to blanket her or not. Her owner has asked to have her blanketed. She feels it's better for her, and that's something that we respect. As a boarding facility, it's very important to be respectful. I have asked what the circumstance, can I take it off, and at what, so I keep on top of that, and we do take care of that. We make sure it's on and off, and she gets dried out and all that kind of thing. So I guess I could say Ruli's kind of lucky in that regard. She does get blanketed, but she's well managed for the blanketing. And that's her owner's request, who loves her very much, takes very good care of her. I've got the bud again. This is ridiculous. Hi, Lena. What do you want? Ah, you're Sandy. Okay, I can't keep doing it. My hands are getting so dirty. So yeah, so that's blanketing in a nutshell. If you have any specific questions, I'm happy to answer them. Okay, you run your own private bar. I didn't know that. Nice job. Oh, somebody's in big trouble. As soon as I turn this camera off, I'm literally getting pushed into the fence. Is there something I can help you with? What a goof, eh? Keep scratching, she says. It's not safe. Don't let your horses do this. You don't blanket either. You know, it's a funny thing. You hear a lot of stories that, you know, horses will have a warm barn to be in, and heated water and lots of hay, and they'll be out in the snow. And it is so common to see horses. It's cold, it's raining, and they're out just taking a shower. It's really weird. So, yep. Yeah, so that's why Ruby's blanketed. Moving to Florida a year ago. Oh, cool, Tracy. Blanketing rubs the skin raw sometimes. Absolutely. You can also lose pigmentation. You'll see white spots at the top of their withers. Luke has that. Let's see exactly what I thought. Do you give college credits? I don't know if we have that here in Canada. If I could give college credits for helping here, I think I would, if it was a good helper. Kids these days, eh? Careful there. Just kidding. I don't know. Is there any regularity to these live streams? No. Totally irregular. It's just whatever I feel like doing, I think, I think I want to talk about something right now. I'll just throw the camera up and, sorry, I know I should schedule this, but I don't. I should. I will. I will. Your videos are, thanks, Nancy. How are you, Kathy? Doing great. Everything's going great here. It's a beautiful day. I mean, a little chilly, but it's not raining yet. It's supposed to rain tomorrow. Don't know what the weekend's bringing, but we are pretty busy. So, lovely day though. Lovely to be with the horses. What happened to Mirror? What's Mirror? Oh, Mira? The black horse? Yeah. Hi, Kathy. If you mean Mira, she's a Canadian horse that was here for a little bit for some what we call horsey daycare. So sometimes horses will come here for a week, a couple of weeks, a month. And Ruby's right here too. Do you need scratches as well? She says, yeah, I could use some scratches. Yeah, it's Mira. I know it's hard to hear probably in the video. Mira was here for horsey daycare, and lovely horse, lovely owner. Her owner actually is the person who did or helped us do the sheath cleaning video. One of the most popular videos, or the most popular video on this channel, sheath cleaning. If anybody's curious about that. Lovely person, great horse. But she's off, I don't know where her owner's off doing a job or school somewhere, so Mira's off in some lovely pasture somewhere, just doing her thing. It's snowy. Pictures that I see, she's in a snowy place. I don't know exactly where she is. Great horse. Been around here for over a year. Do you ever bathe your horses? Yeah, they get pretty dirty. Mostly in the summer when they get sweaty after working. Give them a good bath, get the salts out, clean them up a little. Yep, but rarely in the winter. Pretty unusual. Yes, horsey daycare means boarding. Just very temporary. So people will come here and they say it's like coming to the spa because it's so quiet and relaxed, and the horses don't have to work so hard because their owners are off on vacation or something. And so, horsey daycare. Yeah, we still have Gracie. She's right over there. She's with Macaroni. And then there's that one question. Okay, I gotta get back to work here. Snorting, absolutely snorting. All noise means something. The mares will snort and puff and blow and really does. She's kind of noisy. She's so sleepy right now. Gracie for sale? Not right now. No. Thinking about it. Look at her. She's having a snooze. See, horses, they need to be around other beings. You know, she could have a sleep anywhere else. She could have a sleep in her shelter, hailing a little here and there, you know. But she's come over here to be with Lena and maybe me. I don't know. Anyways, mares will snort, make a lot of noise like that. The geldings or stallions, I think, as well, will make that weird noise in their sheath. That's my understanding. They actually can get some kind of air inside of there and then squeeze it to make a bit of a weird whoop, whoop. I don't know how to say it. So yeah, all noises. If your horse is making any noise whatsoever, it means something. So, yeah. Anyways, honking. Yeah, it's sort of like a honking. It's sort of a... It's not good. If your horse is doing it to you, don't let them make sure that they don't make that noise to you. If they're snorting at you, it's even worse. Don't know any of that. So, yeah, horses should be quiet. Should be quiet and just hang out with you and look a lot like this. This lovely horse right here. And you'll see that most of my videos, my horses are pretty quiet. They don't make a lot of noise at me. If they do, we have a big conversation. I'm the one who should be making the noise. They should be the one listening. And then we'll all get along pretty good. Because I don't want to be told what to do by a 1,000-pound animal. If you sell Gracie, what would you charge? Huh. Gracie's a registered Arabian. She's still young. She's 4.5, going on 5, I think. She doesn't nearly have enough training that I would let her out of here. That I think that she would do well amongst the general population. She's still a little too worried. So her work is going to get done at the beginning of this year. We're starting that up already. She has had some stuff done that I haven't put onto video yet. Not that I don't have video, but I haven't put it up. I'm still deciding on what to do about all of that. Fully trained up, Gracie would be thousands. She's a very, very smart horse. I think that when she does get acclimated to all the groundwork, riding, trails, arena, and starts to manage herself better socially, she'll be worth a decent amount, I guess you could say. We'll see what happens. Not really sure. Not sure exactly how much she'd be worth. I have a mare at home with me, but she's alone. What would you recommend for companionship if you can't afford another big horse? An alpaca? Yeah. Llamas, alpacas, things like that. Goats, sheep, chickens. Some people have done chickens. A mini horse. Horses have a rough time being alone, makes them sad. They also have trouble sleeping because they would like to be able to have the company to help keep them secure, like having a guard on duty. Most horses won't sleep soundly unless they've got another horse hanging out with them, keeping watch. So having a companion that is another herd animal is very helpful. Some get along with dogs and cats and stuff as well. They love just having that little company, but another herd animal I think a lot of people use llamas. You could have a donkey. They're not so expensive, but a mini horse. A lot of people use mini horses because they don't eat very much. They're easy to take care of. You can trim their feet. You don't have to ride them. Just teach them some ground manners and clean up after them, which is easy to do. If you sell Gracie, let me know. Are you local? Where are you? Margaret? Sorry, it just disappeared. Margaret. You've noticed she's tired? Yeah, really tired. Alpacas? Jeez, I've never had an alpaca, so I couldn't even tell you if it's a good companion, but I would assume that it's not bad. They are just a herd animal, and I would imagine the alpaca would be happy to have a horse around as well. So look into it, see what you can find. I understand it's expensive keeping animals, or it can be. Um, Border of mine has an alpaca for her horse. Thank you, friends. Yep. New York. Yeah, I'll let you know if I'm thinking about. I mean, I'll put it up online here for sure if I think about selling um, Gracie, or when I think about it. It will happen one day. She's not a horse for me. Obviously, she's too small for me. I would never be able to consistently ride her whatsoever. The riding that I would ever do with her would be minimal, and I would hope that I could be much lighter, continue her training while here. But I will have her started up and ready to manage that. But if I were to do too much work with her, I would end up, I think, causing more trouble than I would want to. Um, I think she'd be a great kid's horse one day, for sure, because she's small and she'd be able to get around quite easily. She's very agile, so something to be kept in mind. I like all Arabians. On a hunt for a mini, they're everywhere. People are always trying to get rid of minis because they're such jerks. I shouldn't say that. There are a lot of really good minis out there, I'm sure of it. But the ones that I've experienced, they're pushy little things that give a lot of trouble to people. They're pretty good though. They're adorable, and they're not that expensive. Okay, 5'2". Yeah, that's true. My mom was 4'11". Alpacas are easy to feed. I have no idea. In Sweden, it's illegal to only have one horse. Ooh, how do they even monitor that? Who pays attention to that? Do the police do that? Is it SPCA or something? So spoiled. Got kicked by one. Getting kicked by a mini is almost funny. I mean, it hurts. Don't get me wrong. I've had a few minis that I've had to trim. One that was really lame. Poor thing. And they're all pushy little, spoiled, don't understand boundaries, because they're cute. So everybody wants to snuggle them and play with them and whatever. What are you gonna do? So teach teach it the manners that you need to teach it, and make sure that it's a good little horse, and you probably get along just fine. Minis are cheap; they're everywhere. I mean, so police and a sort of SV. I can't find the English word for it. Oh, well, that's good. It's. I would imagine it's very hard to police that. People will just have a horse in their backyard or something like that. I think having a rule out there that people are aware of to create more awareness that horses are herd animals and they don't want to be alone. They want to be able to see their friend. Really still here. She has food to eat, but she's still just dozing. Does it help that I'm standing here talking the whole time and making some kind of noise? Maybe. Hard to say. So the more awareness that's out there, which is what this channel is a lot about, is just creating some more awareness. I'm not trying to make anybody do anything, but the more awareness, so just kind of move that needle a little to the way that I think is good, is great. So whether the rule gets held up, you know, somebody actually comes in and does something about it, great. But the more awareness, the better. Helps the horses out. I gotta get back to work, you guys. Okay. Hit by a horse. Man, getting kicked by a horse, it hurts. All of mine have healed up. I haven't been kicked that many times, but it's been a couple times. So I don't have any scars or anything lasting. I've seen many people that show me that bite here, bite up here, kick to the legs or something like that, kick to the ribs, broken bones, of course, stepped on. pushed into a fence, knocked over. Yeah. So anyhow, I gotta get back to things. Thanks everybody for coming in with the questions. I really wanted to just talk about those 3 things. I've gone way past my expected time frame on this thing. It's we're over an hour. Oh no, not again. She's filled her munchy stomach, and she's come for more scratches. Okay, we're gonna say goodbye to everybody. We gotta go back to work. Come back. Getting back to work. I'll be back. I'll try to schedule these live streams a little bit so that it's not so sporadic and just off the cuff. But for the most part, I like kind of off the cuff. So I sort of start to think about things that come up in comments, and instead of just getting the normal camera out, I just... You're welcome, everybody. Thank you for saying thank you to me. You're welcome. I shall leave you with a but. But, just the but. Yeah, I'll try to schedule these things. Zeus is still here. He's actually standing up now. He's like, hey, is it lunch? It is lunchtime. Thanks for asking. So, and really. Okay, you guys. I will talk to you again very soon. Thanks for coming in, and I'll try to schedule these things.